From the moment you launch Arc Raiders, you're not just playing a game. You're stepping into a war-torn world on the edge of collapse. A flickering neon sign and sound of machines hunting in the dark. And you immediately learn that this world doesn't want you here. It's cold, it's brutal, and the fight for survival begins. Hello, I'm Mr. Neons, welcome back to the channel, and that's right, we need to talk about Arc Raiders. The tech test is over and I've had some time to gather my thoughts. We're gonna talk about the different aspects of the game, my impressions and my thoughts. I'm gonna end the video by talking about what I would like to see improved and also my hopes for the future of this game post-launch. Now, if you end up liking the video, please smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things really helps this channel. It's more than you think, so please. But without further ado, let's talk about Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders has been on my mind ever since it was first announced back in 2021 during the Game Award show. It was just something about the tone, the visual style, and of course the gameplay they showed that stuck with me. Back then it looked ambitious, maybe too ambitious, because it was Embark Studios' first game. But yeah, it definitely caught my attention. Fast forward a year or so, Embark announces their second title in development, called The Finals. And if you're unfamiliar with my content, I am a massive The Finals fan. I've been playing that game non-stop for a year. It's the best first-person shooter on the market, and in my opinion, one of the best first-person shooters ever. But yeah, seeing firsthand just how much quality and care Embark puts into their games, that gave me a lot more confidence in Arc Raiders as time went on. Still, even with the rising expectations, and to be honest, my expectations for Arc Raiders before this tech test was pretty damn high, I wasn't prepared for just how impressive this game actually is. This isn't just another extraction shooter. It is an adventure. It's an experience that understands atmosphere, player-driven moments, and how to keep you fully locked in from raid to raid. From the very first tutorial mission, as you saw in the beginning of this video, Arc Raiders pulls you into its world, and it doesn't let go. The environments are extremely well crafted, ranging from big open areas to abandoned industrial buildings, apartments, all hint at a world abandoned mid-crisis. The scope feels massive, and the visuals are completely bonkers. They are stunning. The lighting work in particular is amazing. Whether it's the golden sun cutting through ruined concrete or cold fluorescent lights in an abandoned bunker, every environment has mood and depth. This game is so cinematic. It's cinematic without you getting the feeling that they're trying too hard. It just feels natural and believable. I believe this world. I believe the story they are trying to tell through the visuals. The retro-futuristic style in the post-apocalyptic world couldn't look better. And as a massive fan of the retro-futuristic aesthetic, this is the perfect game for me, man. But it isn't just the visuals or the map design that immerse you in this world. It's also the sound design. The sound design in Arc Raiders graphics is genuinely one of its standout features. Everything from the robotic beep-bop sounds the Ark enemy makes, to the kinetic crackle of gunfire, the wind, the rain, distant explosions, even the proximity chat. All of it feels handcrafted to immerse you. You sneaky motherfucker! I saw you sneaking!
I'm friendly, I don't wanna
Okay.
Like, do you wanna fight? I don't wanna fight.
I don't wanna fight.
I'm just learning the game, I'm just healing up, okay?
Okay.
What's your name? I'm just coming out now, I'm just coming out. I'm not gonna shoot, I promise. I don't even have my gun out. I just wanna know how you find this game. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it.
Oh, I'm loving it, mate.
It all adds up to a world that feels incredibly real. And the music in this game nails the tone. Even during your raids, you hear this subtle but powerful music. It's never overwhelming, but it adds to the cinematic feel you get from Ark Raiders. At its core, Ark Raiders follows the extraction shooter formula. You drop into a map, you explore, loot, and try to get out alive. Back to your hideout called SPERANZA. Here you can build different crafting benches, craft items, gear, and weapons with the different materials you looted in the raids. You even have your own loyal rooster, Scrappy. He is out there Ark raiding with you. He's out there collecting common materials you can claim when you get back to your hideouts. Scrappy, claim. Thanks, man. You're the best. You're so nice. Look at you. Yeah. Other than Scrappy, you have different traders. That is where you get your missions, and you can also buy different items from the traders. So far, I think they have done a great job making sure that crafting and weapons, etc. has depth, but it's not overcomplicated that some other extraction shooters can be. There's also a skill tree, and I really like that, because even though you messed up a game, you lost all your shit, you still feel like you have some progression. When it comes to combat, you've heard me talk about the Ark machines a couple of times already. The Ark machines are not your average NPC enemy you're used to fighting in extraction shooters. That has been one of my biggest issues with most extraction shooters. I just don't find the enemy NPCs to be compelling. They're not interesting, except in Hunt Showdown, which is one of my favorite extraction shooters. But the machines in Ark Raiders are the most interesting and just straight up the coolest I've ever encountered, like by far, in any extraction shooters to date. These machines are not to be taken lightly. They are going to put up a fight, and I love that. Yes, get a bot. There's fucking no way, man. Most of the time I was trying to avoid them, because not only do you have to fight them, but they're making a lot of noise. Other players will easily hear or see where you are. Some are fast and erratic, others are massive tanks that force you to use cover, or even other players just to survive, especially if you're playing solo, something I'm coming back to very soon. And then you had the Queen, the biggest Ark in this playtest, which requires a whole bunch of firepower. But all of these machines have weak points, and man, I just love the physics on these things. But most importantly, the Ark feels like a huge and important part of this world. Because at the end of the day, they are your main enemy. But Arc Raiders is a PvPvE extraction shooter, meaning that you are going to run into other players that would like to have a look inside your backpack. You can be up to 3 players in a squad. The game is a third-person shooter, as you might have already noticed, and I like third-person shooters. I'm just gonna throw that out there right away. And I think the PvP in Arc Raiders strikes a great balance between being tactical and explosive. Fights with other players can be long-range sniper duels. Maybe you're trying to eliminate a team. All of a sudden another team is firing shots at you. Now you're in the middle of the open, running for your life to reposition. But you're not gonna let that team get away with it. I think he's right above me.
Over there.
Now that long-range battle has turned into a close-quarter shotgun flank instead.
Good job.
You can craft a wide variety of equipments or gadgets, like zip lines for vertical movement, similar to the one in the finals, or a grapple hook to close gaps or escape, and of course different types of grenades, like stun grenades, C4, or more like a traditional frag. The combination of utility, mobility, and firepower makes these PvP encounters dynamic, and you're constantly weighing risk and reward, right? Do you chase down that lone player? Do you ambush a group at the extraction point? Or do you try to avoid combat altogether? It is these decisions made in the moment that give games like this so much replayability, especially if you're playing solo. And let me just say, the solo experience in this game is stellar. During this tech test, I was playing solo most of the time, and when I say most of the time, I think I played in a squad maybe 4 times in total, and I fucking love the solo experience in this game, because going in solo is a different experience. There's a constant tension that never really lets go. Every noise, every movement in the distance, like you're always thinking, was that a machine? Was that a player? Because there's no one to back you up, no squad to revive you, no safety net. It's just you, your gear, and whatever lurks around the next corner. And man, I just love that tension. And one of the great things about solo play in Arc Raiders, if you're dropping in solo, the matchmaking is going to prioritize other players doing the same thing, meaning that you're most likely going to go up against other solo players in that raid. Theoretically, you can run into other squads, but in my many hours during this tech test, I never ran into a pre-made squad. And another thing that I absolutely love about the solo experience is the PvP, because some of my raids just ended up me against a couple of other solo players in one area, like one building. A PvP encounter lasting for several minutes. It turns into this very stealthy gameplay, and a lot of it has to do with the third-person view, because you know that people can be peeking around the corners, and with the help of the arc, you know there's someone lurking outside your building, right? So you're being extremely cautious, trying to bait them in by making noise, like opening containers or whatever. And that whole adventure is just you against a couple of other players in one building. I think that's super dope, man. And a lot of people like to compare Arc Raiders with The Division or Star Wars Battlefront, and Star Wars Battlefront is a given, right? I see that vibe as well. But to me, this game reminds me more than I was prepared for The Last of Us. And to be more specific, The Last of Us Factions. Now I'm pretty sure that you have heard about The Last of Us. The Last of Us Factions was the multiplayer in the original The Last of Us. Yes. That is a mode that went under a lot of people's radar, but in my opinion, it's one of the most underrated multiplayer experiences to date. It was overshadowed by how good the single player was. I fucking loved The Last of Us Factions, man. And Arc Raiders is very similar, especially when you're playing solo, because of the stealthy gameplay. And my heart was broken. The Last of Us Factions 2 was supposed to launch with The Last of Us 2, but they said that because the scope of the multiplayer was too big to include it in The Last of Us 2, they were going to make a standalone multiplayer experience for The Last of Us. Like, I can make a whole video on this subject. Like, I'm gonna try to keep it short, but we were talking a huge map. It was going to be PvP, it was going to be PvE, new characters, storylines, fucking you name it. And after several delays, and when the extraction shooter genre got popular, I was thinking, fuck, if there's one game that would be perfect for the extraction genre, it is The Last of Us. Because of the stealth gameplay in the multiplayer, and that you can craft on the fly and everything. But they cancelled it, because it would take too much resources. Bungie told them so. Fucking me, Bungie. But hey, I'm not blaming Bungie. But yeah, they cancelled that project because they wanted to focus on making single player experiences, and that's fine. Naughty Dog, is very good at single player experiences, you know? But as I said, I was heartbroken because I had already imagined a stealthy third-person view, gritty setting like The Last of Us PvPvE extraction shooter. But here it is in Arc Raiders, almost exactly how I had imagined it, but with machines instead of zombies. So The Last of Us factions had to die so Arc Raiders could live, and I'm totally fine with that. But anyway, solo experience is great, and when you throw in proximity chat in the mix, turns into the coolest game, man. My most memorable moments during this tech test was because of the proximity chat. Hey man. Alright. Hey dude, I'm looking for... Okay, hold on. You're in luck, man. But no worries. I'm looking for like synthesized fuel. Do you know where I can get it?
It's all in these industrial areas. Check these lockers over there though, it's industrial, so you might find some in there.
Yep. Will do. Right, man. Bye. Hello? Oh? Nice. Karma is kicking in?
Yeah. Sure.
Alright, thanks, mate. It just gives another layer of like player-driven moments that you can only find in extraction shooters, man. Not only is there proximity chat in the game, it does encourage you to use it because of the arc. Fight together instead of each other. Take down the tank, take down the queen. Man, like that is what creates cool moments, dude. And Arc Raiders is designed for it. At least to me, it feels like that. And I'm just so happy about it, man. And the last couple of things I want to talk about before we head over to my final thoughts is the movement and the animations in this game. Being able to barrel roll to mitigate fall damage, vaulting and mantling and climbing in this game, being able to extract, and there's an animation for it even though you're in a downed position. Everything just feels well thought through and just gives you that AAA feeling. But before we jump into the final thoughts, I just want to mention a couple of things I would like to see improved in the future, starting with the character customization. I know, I'm not the first to say this, but coming off the finals, the character customization in this game feels lackluster. I would like to see more hairstyles, I would like to see facial hair, different faces, different voices, and of course more cosmetics that are customizable. But yeah, this was a tech test, so those things might come in later, but I just wanted to mention it because that part of the game is going to be very important for people when the game launches. Another area I would like to see improvements, and I saw Rockhound Black talk about the same thing in his latest video, it's the UI in Speranza. Navigating between traders, the workbench, the world map, etc. felt a bit more complicated and clunky than it needs to be. A smoother and more simple and user-friendly experience is much needed in my opinion. Other than that, I ran into a few bugs that of course need some attention, but yet again, this was a tech test, so I'm pretty sure these things are going to be sorted out. What I hope this game delivers in the future is a compelling, mature sci-fi story. I already like the foundation. I think it's interesting that the arc just one day rained upon us from the sky. We had no idea what was happening and we got absolutely destroyed. I like that. But I hope the continuation of that story is an interesting and somewhat original sci-fi story. I'm a big story guy. I basically grew up at the cinema because my father used to work there. And he's a huge movie nerd, and so am I. So I like a good story, and especially a good sci-fi story. So as I said, I just hope the continuation of this story is dope. And yeah, I want to fight that big thing in the first trailer. I want to fight that. So my final thoughts are, this is a masterpiece in the making. Overall quality of this product is nothing but phenomenal. This is masterclass game development. This is a game studio that understands and respects what makes extraction shooters interesting. They take that and they put it into a world that is so well made that it is mind-blowing. You have top-tier art design and visuals, audio, music, animations, and a variety of well-thought-through and fun gameplay mechanics. And you have the AI enemies that are smart, interesting, and just super dope, man. Holy shit! This is fucking crazy. And Embark, you won my trust a long time ago. I've been genuinely rooting for you guys ever since I got into the finals, because you see the exact same raw talent there, you see the passion, and you see the understanding of what makes a dope game. And you should be so proud of what you guys have delivered. It is insane. Gamers around the world are shocked, and here you are out in Stockholm, Sweden, slapping the AAA industry around, putting them in their place. They need to wake up, because how the fuck are you gonna compete with this if you don't? Good on you, Embark. Good on you.